Oh, man, I can't spell. um, Oh, it is playing an ad. Fuck. Hi, by the way. I can't. Okay. I thought I was being smart by setting the stream up so that there's like not Animal Crossing specifically, but like chill video game music playing at all times, but the thing is that it's playing through like YouTube and I can't hear it. So if it starts playing an ad, I'm fucked. There we go. I have my own music playing and it's not. Yeah, I turned it off while the ad was playing because I caught the fact that the ad was playing. Oop, why do I have two chats on screen? Whoa. Let's turn that one off. Not quite sure what I want to be drawing tonight. Hi! I, I sat down thinking, oh yeah, I have so many things I want to draw, and then I look at my canvas and I'm like, oh, I need to get my. I want to do art of Rabbids Bella in his like big boss form, but I do also want to just draw more ship art of Bella and Oswald because like DC's been on my brain so much lately. It like came back and grabbed me by the scruff. I was eyes deep in Rabbids and then out of nowhere Penguin snuck up on me. Aw, thanks. I need to what I really need to do is like actually like hammer out a decent reference for my version of Oswald because I have ideas, but I haven't really cemented anything. I mean, I have, but it's been like a I don't want to call it a secret. It's not like it's a secret. I've drawn my version of him before. Like that's obviously what I've been including in all of my art lately, but like I have I have a specific design in mind. Yeah, well, I have it paused currently, but I was listening to Phantom's theme. I really, really like his song from the DLC a lot. It's really good. Oh man. Stop! Sorry, my cats. Where is that? Browser source. That's not it. Oh, there it is. Hold on a second. Oh, hi. Lear's here.
Yo,
I'm trying to fix something on stream because it's been bothering me.
gotta have the opening technical difficulties.
Well, it's not exactly a technical difficulty, it's just that the chat was not scaled correctly and hasn't been scaled correctly for some reason. The chat bubbles are getting away.
Scooting it into position.
There, now it's correct. Does the for the people in chat, does the video game music, is it okay in comparison to like voices? Because like I said, I can't hear it. Oh, the icon's not. Huh. It should be playing music. Sorry, I'm scratching my nose. Hmm. Lear, can I get a mic check?
Mic check, mic check.
There we go. I don't know. Never mind, I know why. Oh, I'm missing one. There it is. That's in the wrong spot. There. Sorry, everybody. I've always got to do last minute adjustments every time I start a stream. Whoops. Ah, ah, ah. Man, this sucks. I might just have to have, instead of having it set up through the stream, I might just have to have a browser tab going at all times for music. Oh. Immediately, I started getting dropped frames when I opened YouTube. That was cool. Ah! Everything's so loud. Yeah, there it goes, but now it's really loud for me. Hmm. Let me see if I can do a trick real quick. Whoops. Oh,
Yo, elevator tunes?
oh, it's coming through my mic now. That's not cool. Hold on, I'm gonna try and do a trick real quick.
Oh my gosh, you got the tablet and the moving pen?
Oh yeah, I set that up. Ah, loud. So I have this thing. This is a handheld microphone that has a speaker built into it.
Power on. Connected.
And I can Bluetooth it to my computer. Okay, so now it's playing through the microphone. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that works. It's still playing on stream, apparently. But I can turn the sound on the microphone off so that I can't hear it, and it's not loud in my ears. So there's chill Nintendo music playing on stream that I can't hear. It would be really funny if I found out a way to like give one of you guys on Discord like control, or like the whole like group chat control over the music, so y'all could play whatever y'all wanted on my stream, and I would never know. Hello? Oh. Yeah, so like I said, this is a handheld microphone that also has a speaker built into it, and it works like a regular microphone, but it has an echo feature that I like to play around with. I remember very clearly there was a time where I was hanging out with Jay, and we were just kind of goofing around, and I pulled out the microphone like on call and started like making awful noises into the microphone with the echo turned on. This is unrelated to anything. I have a bowl of salsa on my desk, and the smell is really good and very strong, and it's driving me nuts. I don't want to eat chips and salsa on stream, though.
You gotta eat salsa, because I know full well it's gonna end up on the floor or something.
No, it won't! No, it won't! No, it won't!
Oh no. Are you sure?
You know what? Don't test me, I'll pour it out myself. If I had a third incident of dumping something on the floor while I am playing video games or on call or doing whatever, a third incident would tell me that I need to never have food at my desk ever again. I'll find somewhere to set the salsa away from the edge of the desk. Turn my music back on. Yippee, Phantom of the Opera in French. Oh, you know what? He's been on my mind, like, constantly for the last, like, week. I need to draw Larfleeze real quick. Oh, I didn't turn my tablet on! Really? Oh no, I don't remember what Larfleeze looks like. Uh-oh. He does have like a, he's got kind of like a horse thing going on. Just a little bit. Oh no, I might have to break open one of my references. Hold on. Oh no. Oh, yes. Here's my sketch sheet where I drew out my own reference for him. I never posted this because I never felt a need to, which is funny, I guess. Turn all my layers off. What's up with his face?
That's pretty cool.
There's some stuff in here that's like personal preference headcanons, because I personally think he should have had a tail. That's just me though. Thanks. I really like went whole hog on figuring out how to draw him, because like, one, I wouldn't consider him an obscure character, but there's definitely not a lot of fan art of him, and I gotta change that. But two, like, he has such a weird face shape, and I don't like the way he's done in some comics, where they make him more dog-like. I think he needs to be a little fucked up creature. Oh, there's that one comic where they make him more dog-like, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, he's related to Nort. Oh. Oh yeah, and then I directly referenced, like, certain skull shapes. I forgot about that. This particular look of him is, like, my absolute favorite. Like, I can't emphasize enough that this particular look is perfect to me. And he only looks like this in his introduction! He gets, like, super simplified and, like, kind of, like, toned down in terms of monstrousness. It makes me so frustrated. Oh, I need to get back to reading Green Lantern comics as well. I blasted through the Red Lantern series and then haven't touched the franchise since. I got attached to Guy Gardner and that was it. does have like a snout thing going on. I'm just gonna do a silly little doodle because I don't feel like doing a full. He kind of looks like a weasel the way I just drew him. Just a little. Oh. I love this little freak. There's a Green Lantern comic that's a crossover with Planet of the Apes, and like, I read that comic before I ever started reading any Green Lantern comics, so I didn't understand anything about like Green Lantern yet. I understood that the different colors meant different emotions, but I didn't really understand the full scope of it or anything. So like that whole comic is basically like, okay, I don't get that comic at all. Because they're like, oh yes, the universe in which Planet of the Apes takes place is a universe completely devoid of superheroes, because somehow, in the entire universe, no superheroes ever came to exist. Which seems like complete bullshit, because I need to emphasize that Planet of the Apes only takes place on Earth. At least in the movie versions that the comic references. And like, they decided to have it be that there is a particular Green Lantern ring. Well, it's just a lantern ring. It's just one particular lantern ring on Earth, in that world, in that universe, which whoever wears it can wield any of the lantern colors, and then also convert other people into being lanterns that can then wield any of the lantern colors. And I'm like, something about this feels stupid. Just a little bit. And like, that was before I read Green Lantern stuff. That was before I knew anything about Green Lantern. So like, looking back on it now that I know more, I'm like, yeah, that was definitely stupid. And then also, so they give that particular ring. Well, they don't give it to him. He finds it. But Cornelius, one of the chimpanzees from the movie, the original movie, finds the ring, and he's like, "Huh, isn't this a cool human artifact? I'm gonna give it to my wife as a like to propose." Well, she's not his wife yet. And like, I'm sorry, but like, his whole thing is that he's like a historian, kind of like an archaeologist, and I feel like I know that like taking shit from archaeological digs and keeping it is like a thing that happens, but like Cornelius is established to have a dedication to his craft. He wouldn't just keep something he finds at a dig, and he especially wouldn't just give it to his wife. Ugh. I love the Planet of the Apes series, and I need to emphasize that reading that comic before I knew anything about Green Lantern, like, I read that comic, and even on the Planet of the Apes side of things, it felt weird and stupid to me. Also, when they find out, when the Green Lanterns as a group find out what's going on, because in the context of the comic, Hal and Sinestro had accidentally been warped into the universe where that ring is. So, like, they're the only people with powers in that entire universe, except for now Cornelius, who has that ring. And, like, so when the Green Lanterns find out what happened to Hal and where he went, all of them are like, huh, so we're going to a planet that's inhabited solely by apes? We're gonna need an ape to help communicate with the apes when we get there. Let's take Grodd. Are you stupid? You're gonna take Grodd? Their immediate first thought is to take Grodd, not Detective Chimp, maybe? Yeah, they take Grodd. They, like, literally go to prison where he's being held at, and they're like, hey, can you help us? And he's like, no? And they take him anyway. And then, surprise, surprise, he turns on them, like, obviously he would. And they're all like, fuck, who could have seen this coming? Well, I wonder. Ooh, that comic, I can't stop thinking about it. Also, so that comic is supposed to be like, literally, there's so many apes, and they're like, we gotta take the one who has mind control, and is also evil. Also, at the very beginning of that comic, they established that in order to reach this universe where this ring is being held, because Sinestro found out about the ring. He wanted to go get the ring that lets you control all of the lantern colors, but he had to figure out how to reach the universe where it's at. Which, by the way, once you enter that universe, it negates whatever powers you have, because it is a universe in which, like, by its very nature cannot have superheroes. So, like, the moment Sinestro and Hal enter this universe, their rings don't work anymore. So they're just normal guys. But, like, at the very beginning of this comic, they established that in order to reach this universe, Sinestro has to kill and steal, like, shit from one of each other lantern color and, like, harness all of them to, like, communicate directly with this ring to find its location. And so they show this shot of him standing over a bunch of people he's killed, and one of them is Larfleeze, and I'm like, what the fuck? Wait a minute. There's no way. That was a really long tangent for one particular comic that I thought was a little stupid. Oh my goodness.
I have really bad news about that tangent as well.
What?
I was only half. I was stuck in a cutscene in Criminal Art, and, like, I've been so invested in that story now, and, like, I was trying to get through it as fast as possible, but it was, like, anticlimactic event.
That's fine. That's fine. It was a lot of me just talking in circles because oh, let me turn you up. Maybe turn the music down a little too. It was just basically me talking in circles about how I read this Planet of the Apes comic that was also Green Lantern and it was a little stupid.
I got that much from it.
It was a little stupid regardless of whether you're in it for the Green Lantern or Planet of the Apes. Either way. You know, this is unrelated. Every time I draw now, I think about, like, the time we talked about how many layers we use when we draw. I make a new layer for literally every sketch I do. Even when I'm doing, like, a doodle page, everything's a new layer. Oh, I don't know what I want to draw.
Layer fiction.
Well, sometimes I like to overlap my sketches, so... my sketches and my doodles.
I don't know what to draw either because I have video game addiction. I'm gonna try to come up with something anyway though.
I'm gonna draw DeWoim. DeWoim.
Do you mind if I talk about Chrono Arc?
Go ahead.
Okay, so that's the game with the baseball bat priestess and the fucking parade tank. And it turns out it might actually be, like, the best time loop story I've ever encountered.
Oh?
It's wild. And, like, I don't know, is anyone in chat concerned with spoilers for indie title Chrono Arc that just came out?
I think you're fine to talk about it.
Okay. It's like... information is revealed at such a, like, perfect pace. The situation, the, like, overall situation is, like... humanity encountered an apocalyptic ice age, basically. And the entirety of, like, the game takes place in a virtual reality like 600 individuals ended up in during cryosleep.
Huh.
Now, it wasn't supposed to be a time loop, and there's, like, logs that you find that go into both, like, real-world events leading up to this in the game world, and then virtual reality events that led up to the current state of things. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. And, like, the setup for the virtual reality aspect is really unique compared to, like, most media I see that does it.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time the virtual reality is like, oh, it's a paradise where, like, everyone chills for the cryosleep period. This one was specifically, the one in the game was specifically made to mimic reality, in a quote-unquote video gamey fashion. Like, so the people inside the virtual reality had to, like, harvest resources similar to normal reality and stuff like that. And the logic behind this was because when they come out of cryosleep, they're gonna have to rebuild civilization. So this is like training for them.
They got put in Minecraft.
Kind of.
Well, you're describing this scenario, and I'm thinking, oh, it's to mimic reality in a video gamey fashion. I'm thinking of that movie that came out that was about the dude, who was an NPC in like an online game, and
I
didn't.
know what you're talking about, but I never watched that.
That movie was actually really good. I actually do recommend it. It was pretty cute.
I'll make sure to check it out at some point then.
Not Ready Player One. Free Guy.
Yeah, Free Guy.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah, yeah. I have not hit the plot beat where we figure out who the Project Betrayer is, but someone fucked things up by putting a, like... Well, first of all, rolling back a little bit, no one dies here and there's no injuries. And it is expressly shown to be not the best thing in a log about a mine collapse that buries like 7 of the people in there.
Oh, so they're just stuck.
Yeah, and like the technology level of the citizens has not reached a point where they can safely get them out, so they have to go to the researchers who make a quote-unquote artifact.
Oh, that's fucked!
Unbury them.
That's actually fucked. Oh, this is
things progress, and the logs have not been revealed for what exactly happened, because there's a massive amount of like... Okay, so... Again, I said things are revealed in a very, like, loose fashion, and... so, like... I'm still having trouble organizing it, because I've actually played the gameplay part of the game for 4 loops so far. And each loop comes down to, like, 2 hours, which means I've looped for 8 hours, and I currently have 17 hours of gameplay, because there's just that much fucking story that gets revealed between loops. But at some point, riots break out because, like, some guy betrayed things and started causing problems. And this led to the, like, CEO / head scientist who's there to put the entire thing on freeze. And he's like, okay, the project is... The secondary purpose of the project is a bust, but we can just leave things frozen.
Oh, shit.
It'll be fine. And then he puts himself in digital cryosleep inside the cryosleep to wait out the rest of it. But his partner, the Phoenix, who is just a phoenix, cannot go into cryosleep because he isn't, like, himself. He's an altered avatar, which causes an error. So he's stuck being awake for 150 years.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, trust me, that's a small length of time considering we're, like... The story is, like, 400 some years deep now.
Oh.
Like, you start out on loop 499, and the story skips a couple times after you finish loops. And the current one is, like, 25,000-ish?
Oh my goodness.
So, like, they make it very clear that a lot of time passes in there. But the Phoenix, like, does a bunch of dumb bullshit to pass time. You know, he learns how to paint, and he plays video games, and he controls a robot in the real world to analyze, like, the state of things, and then it breaks down, and all of the observation equipment also breaks down. So no one knows what the outside situation is.
Hmm.
And he talks to the only other unfrozen person, the Betrayer, who is in prison. Oh yeah, this game is just full of nightmare scenarios. I haven't even got to the worst part.
This is unrelated, but I'm gonna put an image on screen. I want to show chat my small Flash collection.
Ooh. Flash them. Aw. I
Oh,
like the plushie one.
I'm so happy with my little collection. I have another image, which is part of my Flash collection. Oops. This I got pretty recently. This is one of the cooler ones that I have.
Ooh. The ring.
Yeah, and it actually flips open.
That's really cool.
I was pretty excited about that. Anyway, that game sounds really cool. I might want to play it.
I want to talk about it even more because it's so complex and there's no one to talk to it about. So things happen in logs I presumably don't have yet. And it becomes the current, like, gameplay time. And you play as Lucy, who is a little girl. She does not fight, until later when she learns how to fight. But she is the girl of prophecy who will get the time shards together to activate the clock tower and bring the world back to when it was good. You form a party out of, like, the various investigators on the Ark, and you go down to the Twisted Land and fight your way through to get the clock shards, the time shards or whatever. Lucy does not retain memories between loops,
Oh.
but her subconscious does, so she kind of grows, both mechanically and, like, in canon.
Ooh, interesting.
One of the party members, Azar, does maintain memories between loops. Now, people were never supposed to be doing this, but the Betrayer made it outside the game when it was still being programmed, the Betrayer's Potion, which lets people maintain memories between loops. And they specifically did it because they discovered a failsafe that, like, the CEO scientist guy put in to revert memories if anything, like, really bad happened, and there needed to be a full reset. So...
Oh shit, that's not what I wanted to do.
things, like, through gameplay, things are very, like,
Fuck!
standard and revealed through the cracks a little bit, if that makes sense. Azar often makes comments about doing this again and being here before, that kind of thing. If he's in your party. And the first loop is a little different, because I don't think you're allowed to win the very first one, but the one after that you're allowed to, like, win. But then that opens up the, like, actual full loop, where you go to fight the final boss, the Forgotten King, which is, like, a big guy dressed in armor and, you know, that stuff. And, like, I don't know where to start with the information that happens, like, during gameplay time, because things get strange. There's a flashback to the 12th loop, and, like, early on, Lucy, like, I noticed early on, like, in actual gameplay, Lucy is very, the main character is very emotionless for a child. But, like, flashing back to the earlier loops, she would freeze in fear and stuff like that. And a boss fight is actually used to show this happening. One of the first boss fights is against the witch, and she puts a curse in your hand. Also, I don't think I mentioned, but this is a roguelike deck builder.
This is a deck builder?
This is a roguelike deck builder. Look, the witch puts curses in your hand, and you have to curse one of your party members with it, or else they all get cursed if it's still in your hand at the end of your turn. And in the flashback,
Oh, there we
Lucy
go.
has a like fear debuff that
Yeah.
doesn't let her play any of her cards. And during this flashback, like one of the other party members, what's his name? Hein, who is like super bloodlustful and mad. Despite being on death's door for like 3 turns in a row, just starts acting on his own accord and beating the boss anyway. And so Azar, who is there, cuts him in half and just tells Lucy, look, you're not gonna remember any of this. We'll fix it on the next loop. And then they just die, and then they just die.
What?
And like, that's the whole flashback, and I was like, huh?
Huh?
And like, that's early on enough that it made me think Azar is a bad guy, but I'm not even sure at this point anymore because so much like other thing, like, I'm sure he's a bad guy, but I'm not sure he's the bad guy. Granted, you get friendship levels with things, and he's the only party member you can't achieve 6 friendship levels with, you can only get 3. And like, so after your first time defeating the Forgotten King, he hangs back because the king speaks up and he's after like... Actually, I need to talk about the king fight a little bit. Because like, they interweave like narrative stuff into the actual fights a lot. The king fight goes in phases and puts you on like back foot really hard a few times. But like the last phase is everyone still alive in your party gets like chained up, so they can't do any actions.
Oh shit, what the fuck? Oh, what is happening?
What's up?
I'm not touching my tablet.
Uh-oh.
What? Whoa, what the fuck?
Do a tap. Turn off Ken.
Oh, that was awesome.
At least it was one stroke, so you can undo it.
Yeah. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I think my tablet might be dying. My tablet's
Plug it in.
dying.
Plug it in!
Give me a second, I gotta pull the charger out and not spill this salsa.
Ooh, it's happening.
It's not gonna happen. I won't let it happen.
But like the final phase of the king fight is he's at 1 HP and he has a shield that stops like any debuffs from killing him, and your party can't play any of their cards because they're chained up. So you get one card in your hand called like Pick Up Blade. What are you laughing about?
I'm trying not to spill this sauce.
Just put it somewhere else! If that
I
ends up on
did!
the floor, that is strike 3.
I did put it somewhere. I have a mess of wires that I need to clean up.
You have your salsa in the wires?
No, I'm trying to pull one of the wires and I'm fearful that it's going to hit the salsa. I know it's not my stylus that's dead this time, though. You have your salsa in the wires.
Oh my gosh.
There it goes. I got it.
Good job.
This tablet doesn't have to be Bluetooth at all times. It can just be plugged in at all times to be usable, but I don't know why I just am like, no, I won't plug it in.
Because cords are restrictive.
Yeah, but I don't move my tablet very much, so... I don't know why I'm so adamant that I'm staring directly at this reference and my brain is like, you can't do that.
You're the artist, you can anything. Do you want me to continue with story, or?
Go on. Go on. I'm just like laughing, envisioning the thing I'm trying to draw.
Alright.
Wish that were me. It's been raining here.
It's raining here too, so I can't go look. So, with like nothing else to do, you're given a card in your hand called Pick Up Blade, and you pick up the Forgotten King's sword. And then, after you play that, you get a card called Decisive Strike, which says Execute the Forgotten King. And this is the first time you see this kid Lucy kill anything, or even attack anything. So after that, Azar hangs back with the Forgotten King and they talk. They clearly know each other. Because the Forgotten King also keeps his memories. And here, combined with some like logs that you here combined with knowledge that if you like check the logs that you got before now, you learn the Forgotten King is the head scientist / CEO guy who runs the whole project. And he is there, as Azar says, some sort of retribution / punishment. Again, why exactly he's there hasn't actually been revealed yet to me. But as you go further along in the story, like, a bunch more loops pass, and Lucy gets stronger, and more beats happen. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm listening, I promise I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm just... Whoa. I'm okay! I need to emphasize I am okay! I'm just having a night.
That's fair. So... after, like, the next big plot beat, I guess, would be... Azar having a psychological breakdown? It's a cutscene that takes place after, like, the 3000th something loop. They come back and Azar is, like, congratulated for being this loop's, like, MVP, basically. The big burly guy calls him, like, bro for the first time ever. Everyone's cheering for him specifically. And they go to put the timepiece into the clock tower and reset things. And then Azar wakes up drunk at the tavern, with everyone fucking hating on him.
Oh.
And he's insisting that he's done so much for everyone because he has his memories, but no one else does.
That would suck.
And, like, he's aware of this. He's just let it slip way too much this time. And he's, like, actually gone on, like, after having particularly trying loops, taken, like, loops off, basically. So, we watch him kind of have a breakdown and be like, I need some fucking purpose, dude. I can't keep living like this. And he figures that the best thing he can do is just keep training Lucy to get stronger, because that's the one thing that continues, like, actual growth, basically. No, Smithy, do not poor bastard Azar quite yet. I'm not sure if he's the bad guy or not. So he starts training Lucy in like actual combat and like other
Ugh,
ways of getting
God,
stronger. Um, and then in another cutscene, he's talking with the Forgotten King again, and he's like, "Listen, you're the head scientist guy.
Ooh.
We gotta break the loop somehow. I don't want to be here anymore. This sucks." And this is a callback to the first time they talked, because the Forgotten King was like, "You're miserable, just like me." And like, for real, Azar is. Because like, yeah, the Forgotten King is being killed at like every loop. But Azar like legitimately has like no purpose, he feels like. So he wants out. And the Forgotten King is like, "Sure, go to the archive. There's a clue on how to wake up the master program and get him to like unlock things. Go to the archives and we'll check things out." And then you get like a bonus game mode where Lucy does get to fight now. She is an actual combatant. And Azar's like, "Go to the armory, pick up something that feels good, and we'll go check out the archive, even though I don't want you to follow me." And Lucy goes and picks up a wooden sword because it feels familiar. Again, she does not maintain memories between loops, only like subconsciously. So they go to the archive, and Azar's like, "You stay out here. You do not want to see what's in there. It'll fuck you up, actually." And Lucy's like, "But I came all the way here. Let me in." And he's like, "Nah, just go to sleep." And Lucy just goes to sleep. Also, I don't think I said this before, but the loop also resets if Lucy ever dies.
Oh.
Not just when the clock tower thing happens. So he goes in, he checks the archive, because the archive keeps track of everything that happened in the arc. Every single loop, every single like thing that has transpired, that kind of stuff. And he goes to check where he thinks the clue is, and he finds a bunch of deleted data. And he's like, "Huh?
Fuck it, we're getting the chips out."
Crunch that salsa." And when he tries to like figure out what happens, he finds out he deleted the data, but he doesn't remember anything about that.
Huh.
So anyway, he leaves and he sees Lucy sleeping and is like, "You know what? She's probably gonna die out here soon anyway. So I'm just gonna leave. I don't want to confront her right now." So like, he just leaves. Lucy is intended to die soon, and the loop resets. Because, you know, she's all alone and she's not really like an actual combatant. She's good, but not that good. She wakes up and goes into the archive, and this is when the Phoenix comes and is like, "I bet Azar went here. I want to live forever." The Phoenix's motivations at this point is clearly expressed that he just wants to live forever. He has like no greater goals or purpose. And he comes in expecting to like tell Azar off. And Lucy's there. And Lucy just watched all her memories, basically. And this is where we find out the bad shit. So Lucy, the girl of prophecy, who is destined to go through like and lead the party and kill the Forgotten King every single loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lucy is the Forgotten King's daughter.
Huh?
And they talk about how, like, she never did anything wrong, she wasn't supposed to be punished like this. But at this point, she has killed her own father, like, 3,000-ish times. And I'm like, oh, whoever set this up is really, really bad, and I really, really hope it's not Azar. Because Azar is kind of cool, but man, he is super fucked up if this has to do anything like with him. But later on we learn maybe it's Azar that had something to do with this, but mostly it's the Phoenix's fault. The Phoenix is a bastard. Then we get to roughly where I am now, which is the Phoenix feels actually guilty for the first time in his life. And he's like, I want to help Lucy. And the way to help Lucy is to... Everything here is about her killing the Forgotten King and resetting the time and whatnot. So we have to... Maybe if she remembers her memories, she will not kill the Forgotten King. So she went and talks to the Forgotten King. Also, his name is Klein, just to like shorten that. And he's like, dude, the situation is fucked up. I'm sorry for everything. The betrayer made me do it. And then the Forgotten King is like, no he didn't. Bro, I was in cryosleep and you just caused a bunch of problems for no reason. And then the Phoenix is like, yeah, actually, I'll take the blame on this one. So the Phoenix has to discover the Betrayer's Potion, because all of it was used up between like the 5 people that retain their memories. And so the cutscene that I just spent the past like half hour in when you were like talking about stuff was about him talking to the only like mostly cognizant person in town, which was the like other head researcher, because she is still the head researcher in the arc, basically. Her job is so similar to what she used to do that she hasn't been like super altered, so she's fairly like aware. And they go through like a ton of drama over 20,000 some loops trying to get the potion right. And then it finally happens, they try it on the head researcher, and she's like, I can remember everything, it's time to save the world. And like, I'm not sure what exactly saving the world does at this point. There were a few background details about potion needs to be ready soon, quote unquote, because the like project is going to be finished, the Ice Age is going to be over.
Oh shit. Fuck.
And the potion needs to be ready so that everyone can
Shit.
like, have their memories and talk to the master program and be like, hey, we want out of here.
Oh fuck. Ah.
But like, we do not have the betrayer's identity. I'm pretty sure I know who it is based on like the early logs. There's this creepy weirdo that was talking about murdering people. Probably that guy. The Phoenix is also like identity secret, but I'm pretty sure I know who that one is too. A very like naive novice researcher. And then there's a bunch of other stuff, but like, it's weird and strange. I really like the like background logs, both the real life ones and the like early virtual reality ones, because they show a lot of the like companions you can take as your party, but they're like they're largely completely different people. Like Hein, I told you about, he's like the sworn revenge guy with madness and like blood. That's his stuff. He's basically just an intern. So like, I don't know, this game has enthralled me with its story, and I really want to see how it wraps up. But
It
like,
sounds really
again,
interesting.
the worst part is a run takes 2 hours, you're not guaranteed to win. And then you've got like 2 hours worth of story immediately after it. So, like, a play session is a bit long. If you want to put it all together
Okay.
like that.
Whew. While you were talking about that, I was not eating my salsa. I was looking at the videos. The 2 videos I have of me dumping food on myself on my floor on accident, so...
Bro, you are gonna have a 3rd video on your hands if you aren't careful.
Nope, not tonight. Not tonight. That salsa's not anywhere near the edge of my desk. It smells so good, though.
Just eat it!
I don't want to crunch
You are
chips.
silly.
I don't want to crunch chips on stream. I feel bad. I don't like crunching chips where people can hear.
Well, why didn't you have it before starting your stream?
I did. I just didn't finish the whole bowl.
There is an alternative.
I am torturing myself with the salsa. It's so good. Okay. I need to... There's context behind the salsa, by the way. There's...
Salsa story.
So I ordered myself lunch from Chili's. I got Chili's delivered to my house today for lunch, and I ordered chips and salsa for delivery as part of my lunch. They only gave me chips. They did not give me any salsa. And so I'm looking at the chips and I'm disappointed because I was like, I wanted chips and salsa. But then I remembered, several weeks ago, I bought myself a thing of salsa knowing that I did not have chips for it. So I was like, wow, that worked out really well. Imagine if I hadn't bought that salsa weeks ago. And it turned out that the chips and salsa are really good together. Like, this particular brand
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Chili's chips are good. I don't usually like a whole lot of meat, just in general, but I had their boneless wings. Pretty good.
The wing.
Oh, I need to find something else to listen to. The song that I'm listening to currently is another one of those songs that I'm like, I listen to this and I'm like, I want to make an animatic so fucking bad.
Well, I gave you the strength.
Yeah. Well, the one that you were giving me strength for is a different one. I have several animatics that I want to do. The one to this Goosebumps song, though, is way too ambitious for me to do, like, right now.
Goosebumps animatic.
Well, because this song, I don't know why, this song latched itself to my brain, and I envisioned this song to... Oh, cat in my lap. Okay. Every time I listen to this song, I can just picture vividly this full animatic of, like, Batman rogues. And I want to do it so bad, but everything that I have in mind is way too ambitious.
Well, I do have
Oh.
full confidence in you, but I definitely understand being in that situation.
Oh, Smithy, yeah, that's on purpose. So the video game music is for the actual VOD. The thing on screen that says what I'm listening to is the actual music that I'm listening to currently that is not going to be in the VOD, for the sake of copyright. That way I can listen to my own music while I'm on stream, but the stream won't be like dead silence when you watch it back. Because I was watching back some of the other art streams I've done, and the dead silence kills me. So I was like, I gotta fix that this time. And I actually gotta have it. I actually did manage to work out a system to where there's music playing on stream, but I can't hear it. I cannot hear the video game music. So I gotta keep an eye on, like, the playlist so I can switch it out, but the The video game music is actually playing through my reporter microphone, and if I turn the volume on the microphone back on, you'll start to hear it through my mic. I think it's funny that the mic part of it still works even when I have the volume turned all the way down. Which, by the way, when I have this microphone Bluetooth to my computer, I can use it like an actual microphone for my computer, but it sounds like shit.
Oh.
So, like, if I wanted to, I could switch that over in the settings and have, like, the shittiest microphone in the universe.
I love how it's bad enough that you had to change world to universe at the last second.
But yeah, I would do the Batman Rogues animatic that I visualize in my head if it weren't for the fact that it's way too ambitious for my skill level. Like, I know there's that whole thing about, like, yeah, if it's too ambitious, do it anyway because you'll learn, but, like, it's like, I am not skilled enough with animatics to even begin with that one. That's like a 4 years doing animatics kind of thing. The other animatic, though, the one that I mentioned wanting to do last night, is, yeah. The one that I mentioned last night, though, was, I have this animatic I want to do to Jack's Lament from Nightmare Before Christmas with Bella, specifically in his big boss form. Because, like, that song specifically just stuck in my head as feeling, like, very, very in line with what I was talking about, in regards to, like, Bella's loneliness in his true form. Yeah, you know what? I should do sketches and refine them later. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Oh, speaking of Bella! Speaking of Bella! Oh, there was something that I wanted to say, because I was, Bella has just, like, attached himself to my brain in such a way that I keep saying that phrase, attached itself to my brain. Like, Bella is so stuck in my mind that I am, like, I haven't been so attached to an OC in a while. It's been a good while, because the last time I felt this attached to an OC was Spitzer, and that was in 2019, 2020. But Bella has got me so bad. I have been just, like, cracking down on, like, my world building and lore and shit regarding his place in the DC universe as a DC OC. Because, like, Bella has his place in my original, like, superhero OC world that I share with Joe. But, like, I've specifically been working on, like, Bella and his place in Gotham. Because Bella, to me, is just such a fucking Gotham character. The fuck was that sound? So, the basic rundown is that Bella moved to Gotham from somewhere else. In my OC verse, Bella lives in a city that's it's not Vegas, but it's out in that direction, like the Nevada area. So, like, my thought for him in Gotham is that he, like, moved to Gotham from somewhere in Nevada. And he doesn't have a single casino. He runs a chain of casinos. And he set one up in Gotham, which is why he moved. and he specifically has a chain, has like a company of these casino chains that's Bytes Entertainment. And like, I want to say that he kind of like, even when he's not in costume, like just when he's like doing his own thing, he kind of unsettles people a little because like the way I described it when I was musing about it to the group chat was he gives off a weird vibe, quote, in parentheses, autism. Specifically because, like, casinos aren't just his business, that's his passion. Let's see, what did I say? In my message I just said, not gambling itself, but the mechanics of the game. He has an intimate knowledge of how slot machines work, a fondness for probability and statistics. His favorite is roulette, and he can list both the American and European standard roulette wheel number orders from memory. And then aside from this, he has a strong sense of physical space and easily memorizes floor plans anytime he enters a room. Initially, this was because of his portal ability, and it necessitating he know the layouts of places he wants to go, lest he portal into a solid object. But it became a passion of his, turning him into a fan of architecture and interior design. So, basically, his interests lie in the mechanics of gambling and architecture, and he's very, like, enthusiastic about it and a little weird. And that's I like my characters to be a little weird. Puff, come here, kitty cat. Come here, baby. Oh, don't shake. Why are you shaking? But when I was thinking about his love of architecture, it reminded me of how batshit the Gotham architecture is in, like, the 90s live-action movies. Because, like, those movies are fucking batshit! Like, the city is set up in such a weird way. I love it! Those movies, I just love those movies in general. Those movies are really fucking good. Oh, those movies, that's gotta be my absolute favorite Mr. Freeze. Like, just period. Oh, you've gotta see them. They're actually really, really good. Like, they've got that 90s cheesy, campy thing going on, and it's awesome. Oh. So the other thing about Bella that I was working on, is that he's... like, he runs a major casino chain. He has, like, multiple locations, like, and, like, he doesn't need money. He's not a criminal for the sake of, like, the score. So, my thought process was that he just kind of does it for fun. Like, it's like if Catwoman just, like, broke into places for a laugh. That's my thought on his whole deal. The other part of that is that, so what did I say? I said, he works with other villains as the public face of an operation. He does a string of small, petty crimes that draws the attention of heroes, sets them up like they're going to be predictable, and leads the heroes after him, while behind the scenes the other villains carry out whatever it is they're doing. Basically, following the White Rabbit. You're going down the rabbit hole. Because I thought that would be, like, fun gimmick-wise. And I made a joke here where I said, if I drop Bella in Gotham like what did I say? I said, if I drop Bella in Gotham like I usually like to do, his clientele are going to be sending him on his way with their calling cards stamped to his forehead for Batman. Batman eventually catches that darn white rabbit who proceeds to pull an oversized green envelope with a question mark on it out of his pocket. Riddler jump scare! Wait. Ugh. I have to draw Riddler on my canvas because I brought him up, otherwise my friends in the group chat will mock me. Riddler's...
The riddle.
The Riddler's not even on your canvas! I gotta draw him as fucked up as possible, though. Woo! Oh, what?
I saw you put that first, like, facial line, and I was like, wait a minute. That's not a mask. That's Music Meister's glasses.
There's a... Oh, so Spotify has, like, DC audio dramas, and there's a Riddler one that I thought was pretty good.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, this is what he looks like when he's thinking up riddles.
There's a... So the Riddler audio drama is basically Calendar Man is murdered after being released from Arkham, and the whole thing is Riddler trying to figure out who did it.
Ooh. That
'Cause
seems like an interesting premise.
It is really interesting. I liked the way it was done. There's a couple different like Batman specific audio dramas on Spotify. There's the Audio Adventures, which is like basically a standard like Batman adventure, but it's like partially framed as like recordings of like phone calls and advertisements on TV and radio segments, and also like stuff like that. Like, so it kind of like frames it as like if you were a citizen in Gotham and you overheard this on TV or on the radio or like stuff like that. And they intersperse that between like the actual like plot segments. Scarecrow? Okay, in Batman the Audio Adventure, Scarecrow is the primary villain of season 2. And I thought he was actually done pretty well. I do think he was actually done pretty well. Although Riddler is voiced by John Leguizamo, which was a little weird, but for some reason I thought it was pretty fucking fitting. So every time he spoke, I'm like, that's Sid the Sloth. It was enjoyable, though. He is also Glowbox! I forgot about that! And also Luigi in the live-action Mario Bros. I'm trying to think. There are some pretty notable voices in that audio drama. I thought it was pretty good. But the thing is that it ends on a cliffhanger at the end of season 2 and hasn't been continued since 2001, so unfortunately, there isn't more to it.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
You're saying you're telling me I should make my own audio drama?
I was about to say it's probably easier than an animatic, but then I stopped and thought for a second.
Well, I mean, it's voice acting. I'm sure I could. I'm sure with enough practice I could voice act.
Oh yeah, but like if you're making it an audio drama, you have to like write in that format.
Well,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Especially it would have to be done if it's to match the pre-existing one. I would also have to come up with like alternate segments that include things like like radio commercials and stuff. Which that would be the hard part because I'm not very good at clever quips for advertisement stuff. Oh, I was about to bring up my job in reference to that because I was about to be like, that's why I can't do that at my job. Speaking of my job, actually,
Oh.
no, it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. This is actually,
Yay.
So I realized pretty recently that working the job I do has made me start having interesting headcanons in regards to characters because like to be clear, I work at a knife store, right? And like when you work in such close proximity to weaponry, especially pocket knives specifically, which are easy to come by and easy to get, as long as you don't live in New York or California. Like, I don't know. I'm looking at all of the products we have and I'm thinking, this character would have this knife. Or this character would buy this brand. But specifically, it occurred to me that Oswald would probably buy the brand QSP. Specifically because, QSP is a pocket knife brand who largely names their knives after birds, but the thing is that they have one specific model of knife that they have a ton of variations on. Like, I want to say they have at least 40 different variations of this particular knife, and that model is called the Penguin. Their Penguin knife is, like, probably their best seller, and also comes in so much variety. Like, he has to have one. He's gotta have one. But specifically, I have an image on hand. Specifically, I think he would have this one. Oh, that image is really, really close. So this is the Imperial White Penguin knife. It is exclusive and a collector's item. I think this is his knife. It's so funny because like who else is making headcanons about what specific brand and model a character buys of knives? Like I feel like I'm out of my mind, but it's cool. It's cool. I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. It's so weird when your job starts influencing your headcanons.
It's funny because like that also goes for like real life stuff. I've noticed.
Oh?
I recently saw a post. Well, like when you work with something, you notice it more often. That kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Like after freshly getting out of college, I paid way more attention to like graphic design and packages and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But like a funny example I saw was someone had uploaded photos of graffiti in a stairwell at like one of those college protests that are going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like the top comment was someone being like, "Hey, sorry for lowering the tone of this situation, but when I looked at this, I immediately recognized the little things that are holding up the the handrail going up the stairs," and he shared the exact like fixture that was attaching the arm rail to the the wall.
Oh
And
my
I was like, huh.
goodness. Yeah, I
Like,
feel
that's the
that.
most recent example, but like, I love that kind of stuff. It's so cool when like a professional looks at something mundane and sees like the stuff going on.
Yeah, I feel that though, because like I wouldn't even say I'm like a professional or anything, but um like the whole working with knives thing is leaking into my normal life as well. Like I went out to dinner with a family member pretty recently, and like during the dinner he this family member like pulled out a pocket knife, and I couldn't even see the whole knife. I could just see the blade and a little bit of the top of the handle, and my mom elbowed me and she goes, "What brand is that?" And I was like, "That's a case knife." And my family member kind of like looks down at it in his hand and he goes, "Yep." And I was like, "Well, I couldn't tell you what model of case knife it was, but I knew it was."
That's pretty cool.
I'm I was about to switch canvases to another one that I have open, and all of them are unsaved and untitled, so I was looking at them and I'm like flipping through my brain of like, okay, what are these? Before I click on anything, what do I have open?
Salsa, unmarked projects. You really want to step on a landmine tonight, don't you?
Listen. At least this time, all of my untitled projects are safe for work.
Hooray!
Hooray for that! I'm pretty sure I know one of these has the ventriloquist on it, and I can't remember which one.
I love how you draw the ventriloquist.
I love drawing him! Are you saying, am I sure about, like, the ventriloquist, or about them not having not safe for work on them? They are safe for work. I made sure of that before I started streaming. Although, I'm not going to talk about it in too much detail, but people sure liked those Vel drawings I did.
I mean, they were good. So they should be liked.
This is not related to that. Speaking of the ventriloquist, man, on the subject of like things you know about in real life leaking into how you approach like fiction and also like things online or whatever, like specifically in regards to when a particular interest of yours influences how you draw something or what you headcanon. I feel absolutely out of my mind when I think about how much care I try to put into the way Arnold handles Scarface, because I need y'all to understand, I grew up around puppetry. That was something that was like a major thing in my life until I was like 17. So like, when I draw him, it is like the way I draw him specifically is influenced by something that's been in my life for more than half of it. I think I still have one of my grandmother's old puppets. I don't know where it is, but I know we still have it. So like, it's just the way that I draw his hands, and like the posing, and specifically when it comes to ventriloquists specifically, like the ventriloquist figures don't typically have like the puppeteering rods on their hands. That's not a standard thing that they have. They can, but they don't typically, because usually the show comes from the interaction between the ventriloquist and their figure, less so the figure moving around and things.
Yeah.
But like I do very much put care into, because I draw him having the puppeteering rods on his hands, and I put care into the way that I pose Arnold's hands, because they do have to be posed very specifically in order to have more fluid and natural movement. Oh, I love puppeteering. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. I was just, like, I specifically did that, though, because I was, like, it bugged the fuck out of me when I was watching, Batman the Animated Series, and every time Scarface was talking about something, Arnold had to, like, gesture his arms by hand, and I was like, come on! Come on! Please! Give me a second.
One.
Hey, what the fuck?
What's up?
Look at stream. I have I have apparently 2 captures of my art program, and I went to, like, mess with... I turned off the bigger one, and there was a smaller one underneath. Why? There it goes. Okay, I figured it out. I need to go through and save files. Well, I'm gonna crop this before I save it, because that's a lot of wasted canvas space.
Hi, Rabbit Peach.
Rabbid Peach, my beloved. I need to finish playing Mario and Rabbids on stream.
You do.
I really love that game so much. I'm shocked at myself for not having gone back to that already.
I'm double shocked because I drew Phantom before you got to the Phantom part to show us on that.
Literally, I was thinking about that. Okay, here's this layer. File, whatever.
Drawing Phantom was very fun. I see why you like that guy.
This is my favorite version of Scarface. I love him so much. Hold on. Sorry, I get scared.
What are you scared of?
Opening a canvas and there's something on there that shouldn't be on screen.
But they're not NSFWs.
I get scared. Well, okay, when I say something that shouldn't be on stream, I do also include, like, self-indulgent, embarrassing things, so...
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. that's the one that was killed with hammers.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him with hammers myself. I keep... I can't stop thinking about Joe being like, I do not like the pig. The phrasing of that really got me. This is the wrong folder to save this.
Joe's deadpan delivery
Oh yeah.
is so fantastic sometimes, and that was definitely one of them.
Okay, that file is saved now. I've talked before about how I don't really care for the Gotham TV show. Like, I don't care for cop shows in general. But that one just kind of bores me. But I did make myself sit through the entire Professor Pig, like, arc at the beginning of, I think it's season 4. Just to see how they portrayed him, and I think after everything, that's probably the best portrayal of him I've seen. I definitely spelled that wrong. Gotham
As my
is...
instructor used to say, we're designers, not writers.
True. I specifically liked the way that they handled Pig in Gotham, just because, like, I understand his concept and his premise from his, like, original appearance in Batman and Robin from 2009. Like, I get it. I absolutely get it. And trust me, I love a good villain, and I especially love a good fucked up villain who's not redeemable. But the thing is that I don't really like the poorly handled mental illness angle, which is not the angle that they went for in Gotham. But the way that they did it in Gotham still feels true to the character without the poorly handled mental illness angle. Like, it still feels like him, and it still feels good. It is still written in a really good way. Fucking love it. It was perfect. I will say, however, I think so. Pig is a villain in the Beware the Batman TV show, which, you know, is aimed at kids. The way they handled him in that show is really funny, because, like, you know, they're trying to take a character who's intended to be a slasher villain, basically, like, and make him kid friendly. And it's like if you dropped Hannibal Lecter in SpongeBob, you know, but they still handle him in a way that I actually kind of enjoyed. I lost my stylus just now.
You need that.
Wow, I just straight up lost it. I don't know where it went. I didn't hear it hit the floor. Is that it? Drowned in the salsa. No! How did I lose it? I had it in my hand.
You know, I've never thought of this before, but, like, salsa as an aromatic is actually really smart, I think.
It smells so good.
Like, back before Cazadores switched ownership, that place just smelled like salsa all the time, and it was like,
Fuck!
if you walked past the outside, you just get hungry.
Oh yeah. Hold on a second, I gotta find my stylus. Fuck! curse these rabbit ears. I can't get under my desk.
Things Bella would say.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Professor Pig in Beware the Batman. He had there was this one scene where he had this particular line of dialogue that I thought was so funny it actually made me laugh out loud at work. And like, it is a very, very simple joke, but it still got me pretty good. So he's like chasing a character with a gun. Like, he has this big ass blunderbuss, and he's chasing a dude around in a parking garage. And the dude is like running and screaming, and he goes, it seems like you're suffering from thanatophobia, the fear of death. And it got me. I don't know why that was so funny to me. Is that my stylus? That is not my stylus. Those are gel pens. I'm actually confused. I don't know where my stylus went.
Vanished into the void.
Extremely scarecrow line. What the fuck? Found it, I think. It's in my tablet stand. Yep, I found it. Well, when I thought I found it before, I found some gel pens, so, you know. There was also another line that Pig had in, like, episode 1 of that show, where, like, Alfred is, like, running around trying to, like, escape from, like, some factory or some shit where he was being held prisoner with some other people, and he, like, breaks his ankle, and, he's sitting there on the floor surrounded by these two other dudes, and Pig's walking down the hall, and he's like, I might have a bandage for that. And then he pauses for a second and he goes, nope, we're all out. Looks like we're gonna have to amputate that. And it was just really... I like the way they wrote his dialogue. Also, there was something that I was saying to my mother on, I guess yesterday, because yesterday was Friday. Watching, like, being a comic reader and watching like these DC live action shows that are intended for people who don't read the comics, so they're like kind of made to be like easy to digest and like introducing things as they go, because like they're not exactly made for the comic readers, like, which is why a lot of them do things differently. But like, watching these shows as a comic reader makes me feel like a toddler watching cartoons, because they'll have a scene where they're like, I wonder who the killer is. Let's look at all this evidence. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's Flamingo. And sorry, I knocked my ring light over. and then they go, well, it looks like it's Flamingo. And I'm like, I knew it. is like a Blue's Clues moment. Like, I was watching Batwoman, and like the example of Flamingo is not even exaggerated because like I was watching Batwoman. I almost knocked that salt over from banging on my desk. So they were in like a forensics lab, and they were like looking at the evidence of like a murder that had just taken place, and they were like, there's this, and this. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, those are all like calling cards of fucking Flamingo. I know this. And they're like, we'll have to think about this evidence. And I'm like, oh, it's Flamingo. And then like some other thing happens in the episode, and then they come back to the forensics lab, and one of the characters goes, I figured it out. Here's the case file for Flamingo. And I'm like, fuck. I feel like I'm 5.
You know, I couldn't find the words for why exactly I couldn't get into some of the live action stuff, but I think you just kind of expressed it.
Well, and like, I understand why they do that, because like I said, they're trying to make it palatable for people who don't read the comics and don't have that intimate knowledge of like things that would otherwise be obvious. It's like that meme that goes around of like, people in certain fields assume that the average person has so much knowledge of their field. Like, that's what it's like being a comic reader and then like watching these shows.
Well, I mean, like, even as a non-comic reader, when I've tried to get into them, it feels like the tone is patronizing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like, you're giving us things that seem very unique and obvious, and like, the heroes should probably know them already, so can we speed this up a little?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of feeling.
Like, I get it when it's a character that hasn't been introduced yet, like, when they're building up to. Because, like, they do that kind of stuff in, like, the Flash TV show, but when they do it in the Flash TV show, it's typically because whatever villain they're about to introduce hasn't been introduced to the heroes yet.
Yeah.
So, like, when they're dealing with Captain Cold for the first time, and they're like, weird, it seems like this metal was frozen solid and then shattered. Wonder how that happened. It's like, okay, they don't know who Captain Cold is yet. I get it. But then when you have a series like in the example that I was giving of in Batwoman, they literally had a case file for Flamingo. So, like, they already knew about this guy. They did already know. But they still went through the fucking Blue's Clues moment of, wonder who that could be. Can you point to the killer? I will never not be mad about what Legends of Tomorrow did to Captain Cold, by the way. You know what?
Did they put him on ice?
They did! So, Legends of Tomorrow was a series that was airing around the same time as the Flash TV show. Well, they were airing, like, side by side. I'm pretty sure Legends of Tomorrow started airing, like, after the Flash TV show, like 2 years after. Because the Flash TV show was already in Season 2 when Legends of Tomorrow started airing. But the concept of Legends of Tomorrow, was, like... Basically, they were taking a bunch of, like, known names in DC, like, the, like, overarching DC franchises, and, putting a team of them together for the sake of, like, time traveling. And, like, Joe could probably tell you more about, like, why that sucks, because Legends of Tomorrow was based on the Time Masters comic from the 90s, and, like, I think it's the 90s? And they basically just mishandled, like, they mishandled the characters that they kept from the Legends of Tomorrow comic, but they also, like, didn't include half of the Legends of... No, from the Time Masters comic. But they also didn't include half of the characters from the Time Masters comic. So, like... Yeah, I don't know. But the thing that they did specifically that pissed me off was they took characters from other currently airing DC live action shows and took them from their show so they wouldn't appear in that show while they were on the cast of Legends of Tomorrow, and then sometimes they would kill them off so that they would never appear in their source show again. So, and Captain Cold was one of the ones that they did that to. They snatched him from the Flash TV show during the 2nd season. And I need to point out to you, the Flash TV show had 9 seasons. Captain Cold is one of the Flash's most well-known adversaries, next to Reverse Flash and Grodd. Like...
Strange behavior.
Yeah, so they took one of his top 3 adversaries, put him in another show, and then killed him. So he would never appear in his source ever again. Not only that, but they also snatched Heatwave. Yeah, they just killed him off. They also snatched Heatwave, which is another one of Flash's rogues, who's usually Captain Cold's second in command. And Heatwave lives and continues to be in Legends of Tomorrow for a couple more seasons. But like, he decides after the fact not to go back to doing what he was doing, so he's not a Flash rogue anymore either. So they just basically snatched 2 of the main rogues and didn't let them go back. Ever. It pissed me off so much because like I said, Captain Cold is like one of the Flash's like most well-known adversaries. I don't know how to draw.
The metaversization has been a detriment to everything.
Literally.
Imagine, like, being a fan of The Flash, but, like, not watching the other shows, and then just, like, suddenly the bad guys stop showing up, and you have no idea why.
So... that was...
Captain Cold giving us the spicy a pizza?
Cool. So, I watched the Flash TV show while it was airing. I kept up with it literally almost until, like, I want to say the 7th season? Like, I didn't watch the last 2 seasons because I was watching the show with my mom at the time, and we were keeping up with it as it was airing. And then I moved, and so, like, we weren't watching the show together anymore, so it kind of, like, slipped out of my mind. But, like, Flash was the only DC hero that I actually kind of knew about and liked before I really got into DC. So, that was basically the case for me, that I was watching this TV show, and then one of the main bad guys just stopped showing up. And then, in these last couple years, I finally went back and rewatched the show, and then also watched Legends of Tomorrow, only the 1st season though, because that's the season that Cold appears and dies in. He dies in season 1 of Legends of Tomorrow, I need to point out. They killed him off season 1. Oh. Being a Flash fan is suffering.
You could say they were gone in a flash.
No.
But not really, because they were in Legends of Tomorrow. That was really dumb. Why did I say that?
That was funny!
Okay.
I do like the Flash TV show, though. Like, it's not terrible. I have been working my way through the various DC live action shows that are part of like the Arrowverse and whatever. And I think Flash is probably one of the better ones that they have, and just in general my favorite. It is also the one that has the weird Music Meister in it though, so...
The weird Music Meister.
They made him like an old god. I need to,
Oh yeah, I think you told me about that.
yeah. So they made him like a like some kind of musical old god or something like that, and it was weird. And they had a whole thing where like it was a crossover with Supergirl, and for some reason Barry was like, I don't know why throughout the entire Flash TV show they basically give him romantic tension with every other woman from every other DC live-action show except for Iris, who is his love interest in both the show and the comics. Like, he has better chemistry with the girl from Arrow, and then also with Supergirl, and then also with Killer Frost. I'm just remembering how weird it was that he had better chemistry with every other woman except his love interest. And they're married in season 9.
Huh.
Huh. Why did he have any kind of romantic anything with Supergirl? That's weird. That's the part that's weird to me. Sorry, the music probably just went off, didn't it? Or not just went off, but it's been off. Hold on.
I do not know. I'm listening to my own bops.
Glad you could join! Writing writing more of your fic, I suppose? Yippee! Oh.
Ooh, the random playlist is giving me good things to listen to.
Oh?
Have you heard Shawnee Jash's cover of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked?
Who? No?
How do I describe this? One, I'm gonna send you a link. Two, it's a cover of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, obviously. But it's from the perspective of the, like, the first guy in the song, the like, mugger.
Huh. Hold on.
This
a
guy's
moment, I
style
need-
is really just, like... It's kind of out there.
I'm gonna take painkillers real quick.
Yeah, Smithy knows Johnny Jash.
I had to make sure I
he's-
heard you right.
Yeah, it's Johnny Cash, but, like, swapped around like that. I have listened to all of his, Tally Hall covers, and, like, they're very good. Although, like, be careful if you get into them, because they are kind of, like... They have a meta-narrative around, like, psychology and stuff like that, and, like... It's hard to explain, but, like... The Tally Hall cover's kind of like...
Oh shit.
I don't know how to describe it. You'd have to, like... You'd have to listen to it to see if it's your thing, but also, like, there's a meta-narrative to it. And there's no real good listening order. Basically, it goes into, the long and short summary of it would be, like... The artist's inner conflict between the mind, body, and soul. Mind, heart, and soul. But, like, some of the songs do get real dour and heavy, so do be aware of that.
Oh, oh, that's, ooh, uh-oh.
What did you do?
Okay, I'm going to phrase this as, sensitively as I can. I almost drugged myself on stream.
Percy?
Okay, no. I need to clarify, I was about to take my painkillers, and I stopped myself because I remembered I had a little bit to drink earlier today. And so I had to Google that to see, like, okay, what would happen if I take my painkillers? And apparently, according to this, it says this mixture can result in a sensation similar to opioids. We'll
Yeah,
put that up.
don't do that to yourself.
We're gonna put that up. Oh man.
And here I thought the salsa was gonna be the biggest concern of tonight.
Goodness. I mean, I wouldn't feel any pain, but man, that would not be good for the stream. Holy shit. Alright, well. Can I take Tylenol? No. Okay, nope, I can't take any painkillers, apparently. Never mind.
I can take painkillers. That's because I'm a teetotaler and I never drink anything.
Take them for me. Shit.
Okay. Sending you pain-killing vibes.
Well, I don't like to drink often. Because, like, I don't like the taste half the time. Hold on. I don't have any I don't have anything that I could use for that. It's not severe pain. I'm just like my jaw is sore.
Aw.
It's like I can handle it, and it's not gonna be like an issue. I'm not gonna start like writhing on the floor or anything, but I was saying I don't drink often because I don't like the taste, and it's like the idea of being drunk is not fun to me. Um, but like when I ordered my lunch from Chili's, I was like, "Ooh, they have that spicy jalapeno margarita I like, and I can get one delivered. That'll be nice.
A treat.
A little treat for me." Yeah, well, I'm still gonna get up and go get me a drink because I drank all of my soda.
Okay. He's gone. This is my stream now. What's the first thing that we should do now that this is my stream?
There we go.
Oh, he's back. Shut
Sir,
up.
what? Huh? Huh? Huh?
What?
Huh?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
What's going on?
Nothing. There wasn't enough time for me to plot anything. Speaking of alcohol, I learned recently that I still do not handle being around that well.
Oh, really?
You know how I meant, like, I think this was a specific circumstance thing, but you know how I mentioned earlier in the week we were reorganizing the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple, like, cans of this, like, Guinness draft, like, tucked in the corner that were way out of date. And Mom had me pour
Ew.
them down the, bathroom sink, right?
Oh, I've done that.
I opened one and it exploded all down my front, and I was like, fine for a second, and then bad father memories happened
Oh,
really fast.
yikes. Goodness.
Like I can deal with the smell, but something about that like really triggered me.
Goodness, I'm so sorry.
Eh. I mean, better finding that out in my own home than it being like spilled on in public and like
Yeah.
finding out that I still struggle with that. It's groovy, Smithy. And also, good luck on your new Sona drawing. I can't wait to see that.
Ugh, I don't, what is it about, like, you mentioned pouring it down the sink, and like, why is that like a common experience? Like, my mom, like, she had a bunch of mojitos that she let go bad, and she was like, okay, go pour these down the drain. Why, like, just throw it away. I don't
Well,
know.
I can understand pouring liquids down a sink first because like you throw a full can away, it's liable to get punctured, and that like makes the trash bag tough to handle and can make a mess, that kind of thing.
Oh, I was thinking just take it straight to a dumpster.
Okay, this is a bit of a disconnect for us on account of me living in the middle of nowhere. I
Do
believe
y'all-
the nearest dumpster.
Say that again?
The nearest like proper dumpster is like. Actually, I suppose not 4 miles away. It would be City Hall, which is like 2.5.
Oh my goodness.
Because like we have our outdoor trash, but like that's just a big garbage bin. That's not really a dumpster.
Well, that's more what I mean is like dispose of it outside where it'll be collected and not just like in a trash can where within the bag. Because like
Well, yeah, but you put all the trash in the bag to get collected on Tuesdays.
well, but don't you put it in the bin and the bin is collected? Or
I mean,
is that
the bin
not?
doesn't get collected, but like,
Well,
okay,
but
so
like
the week's trash gets put in the outdoor bin, and then on Tuesday we wheel the bin to the road, and the landlord picks up all the trash.
yeah, that's what I mean.
But like, we still want to keep the outdoor bin nice. We can't be like getting it beerified. Plus, we have wild animals out here, so like food waste and stuff like that, we generally try to not put outside until like
Ah, that's fair.
Tuesday and stuff.
Ooh, I like this.
Oh yeah, checking out the smithy art. Ooh.
May Crackmon is very, very detailed. In my neighborhood, we have like actual dumpsters in the alley.
Towns do tend to have those.
I used to live somewhere where you actually had a bin that you had to wheel out to the street, but like hold on, I'm thinking. I lost my train of thought because I looked at my can of mug and I was like, mug.
Mug moment.
Ow!
You're talking about living in a place where no dumpsters, you had a bin.
That was a while back, but man, I will say I liked having a bin better than having a dumpster because like I don't know what it is about dumpsters that makes people think it's theirs. Like
I have noticed that
my
a few times I've been in town.
well, like my mom when she moved like across town, we were like working on like throwing away boxes and shit from her move, and at one point I dragged something all the way out to the dumpster, and one of the people who lived across the alley came out and was like, you can't put that there. And I was like, it's trash. And she was like, no, you need to call somebody for that. And I was like, it's trash that goes in the dumpster. And she's like, no, take that back. And I was like, I guess. Like, people get really, really defensive about the dumpster that's supposed to be for everybody in that part of the neighborhood. I don't get it.
Not like, one specific trash bin out behind the used shop in town, where, like, Grandma helps out at and, like, brings me in sometimes. Like, there's this... I'm gonna be nice and call her a lady. She's very hag-like, and I wanted to be mean, but, like... Like, if the first time I was helping out over there, I had like an empty water bottle, and Grandma was like, "Yeah, go toss that. Take mine too." And I went over to that one, and she like storms down from her back porch, and she's like, "No, no, 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 no!" I'm like, "What the fuck? It says property of the city of Evelith on the bin."
Ugh. I don't get it. It's so, like, you don't own that. That is city property.
Mm-hmm. It's such strange behavior, but like, I don't know.
Like,
Some people hate sharing anything, I guess.
and I get, like, there are like laws about dumping. Like, you can't just go dump shit in a random, like, dumpster. You're not supposed to do that. Um, but like, if you're just walking out for like whatever little trash is in your hand, I don't think that's the same thing. I don't think that's like against the rules.
Easy answer when you get into that kind of thing. Alright, it goes in the bin or on the ground?
Right?
Which one do you want?
You gotta pick. And you're gonna be mad either way, so. I want to draw, but I keep looking at my canvas and I'm like, wow, that's a canvas. I don't want to put anything there because I don't feel like it.
Well, you did draw a bunch of stuff.
I did. I just gotta start with a circle and figure it out.
Race Smithy and draw Smithy's OC before Smithy does.
You know there are people who actually do that, but like...
Yeah, that's why I said it. There's a guy in my game group who would like insist on drawing everyone's character. Back when we were still in college, even if I said no, they'd take it as a challenge if I said no, and then like try to do it first.
Makes me think of that thing that I was talking about on Twitter, last night. Oh no, you flipped the canvas! So that thing I was talking about on Twitter last night where I said I put out 15 character designs in a couple hours because I wanted to get to something first. So, let me tell that story.
Yeah, tell.
So, there was this person that I strongly disliked who was in the Kirby fandom, and this person was mostly on DeviantArt, but she also had like a Tumblr and was on Twitter, and was in the Discord server that was specifically created for people who were into the Kirby cartoon, which I have tons of shit to say about that server, but that's for another time. I mostly interacted with her in this server and on DeviantArt, but at one point, she had DM'd me directly and invited me into her own personal friend server to hang out. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. I don't have any beef with her at this point. But after I joined her friend server, I did. So I joined her friend server, and it was just a basic, like, you know, there's an art channel, there's a writing channel, there's a general channel, whatever kind of server. And it was just her and her friends hanging out, and I knew these other people mostly, but I didn't really talk in there because I didn't really, like, super vibe with all of them. Like, we were on neutral terms, but I wasn't, like, super into their whole vibe. And then they started making really harmful jokes.
Uh-oh.
And, like, really upsetting jokes. And I was like, yeah, I can't be in here anymore. So I left. I was like, yeah, I actually really don't want anything to do with her or her friends anymore, because that just was too much. Um, and it wasn't, I want to clarify that it wasn't just that they were making, like, offensive jokes. They were, don't get me wrong. They were making offensive jokes, but they were also making jokes about, like, actual triggering, traumatizing shit. Like, and laughing it up over this shit. And I was like, wow, how cruel do you have to be? So yeah, I was like, I don't want anything to do with these people anymore, actually. So I kind of, like, avoided her at all costs, and avoided her friends. And at one point, I caught wind that she was working on a project, relating to the Kirby cartoon. Um, her and her friends, they were all working on this project, basically, where they were, like, making designs, inspired by the, background characters, who were part of the Star Warriors, with Meta Knight or whatever. And so I caught wind that they were doing this, and I was like, I was like, I can't let them take center stage on this one. I can't. So out of pettiness and anger towards her, I rushed and basically did exactly what her and her friends were planning on doing in its entirety in a couple hours before any of them could get to it. So after that, I kind of, like, stole the spotlight and was like, yeah, look at my designs, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I don't think she ever finished all of hers. Like, I was pissed off. I was really pissed off. And man, she just got worse and worse and worse over the years that I knew her. Eventually, the whole situation broke down into, like, like, more than once, she said something or made a joke, and I would stop her and be like, hey, that's fucked up. Don't say shit like that. And at first, she would be like, oh shit, I didn't know. And then immediately she would turn around and be like, people are treating me like I'm some kind of bigot. And I'm like, nobody treated you like that. You were told not to say fucked up shit. There's a difference. She put out a, like, DeviantArt journal cry ranting about how people were suddenly accusing her of being some transphobic bigot because she made an assuming your gender joke, which, not what happened. She made that joke and I told her, hey, that's fucked up. That's a transphobic joke, and that's made to make fun of people, that is a making fun of trans people joke. Don't say shit like that. And she just turned around and she was like, I'm being targeted and harassed, and now I'm being treated like I'm some evil in this community, and just huge DeviantArt journal that was fucking stupid from start to finish, including an entire paragraph where she basically detailed how she would be transphobic to anybody, and she claims it was justified because she, quote-unquote, doesn't know everybody's gender just from looking at them. And I'm like, yeah, that's not... No. Like, I don't know everybody's gender out there just from looking at them, but I'm not gonna go up to them and start making claims, and I'm not gonna start making, like, awful comments to them about it. But... And then later on, she started throwing around slurs, and I was like, alright, nope, you've crossed a fucking line. And she flipped out. Cause I was like, you've crossed a line saying slurs now. Like, this is not okay. you are absolutely getting worse. And she sent me, I'm not even kidding, has to be like 10,000 words of a DM that was like this massive, 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 massive DM getting so mad at me. And she went into basically everything that I had ever said to her that pissed her off, and every single one of her examples was basically me telling her, stop saying fucked up shit. And then she even brought up the time that I was in her server and said that I had joined her server to spy on her, despite the fact that she had invited me herself. And this wasn't a public server. It wasn't like it was a public server that I could just jump into. She invited me personally because she wanted, quote unquote, wanted to be my friend, and then claimed that I was only in there because I was trying to spy on her to make her look bad. She also called me a rat, so...
Well, that's not fair. I'm a rat.
Yeah. She was like, you were just a dirty rat in my server, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. That's not cool. Like, all the fucked up shit aside, why'd you say that?
I do find it funny when someone that, like, actively says slurs says something like that instead.
Right? It was so, and I'm pretty sure I still have, like, an archive of the shit she said to me somewhere. It was, I lost my stylus again. Never mind, I found it. Yeah, it was, it was pretty bad.
You know, I've said this before, but you know some very strange individuals.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, she went on to plagiarize, somebody who was plagiarizing Has-Been, so...
The plagiarism stack.
Yeah. So, there was this one so there's Has-Been, and then there was this one person who was making basically Has-Been, but to the left. And instead of it being like hell, it was supposed to be like holiday themed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this person that I've been talking about, she copied that, and instead of making it like broad themed, she made it specifically Christmas themed. And like, and I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, you plagiarized a plagiarism. Like the, where does it end?
It's like Crab Evolution, but everything evolves closer and closer to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Also, when she made her plagiarism of a plagiarism, she basically repurposed her Kirby OCs, but also stole some characters from Kirby to do it. And I'm not, like, taking characters from a franchise and making them into your OCs for something else is, like, whatever. Because I've done it.
Yeah, we're big fans of that here.
And I did it with literally the same character that she did anyway. But the thing is that, like, she didn't change anything. That's the part that's fucking funny, is she didn't change anything.
Forgot to OCify.
And then, like, so at one point, one of the things that I, and other people, this wasn't just me, but one of the things that I had gotten onto her for was she would over-sexualize characters who were underage. And I was like, hey, that's not okay. That's really fucked up. And she was 17 at the time, so I was assuming that, like, she didn't know better. I was assuming the best for the entire time, which is why I kept telling her to stop. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered with her, but she was like 17 at the time, so I was like, okay, maybe she doesn't know. Maybe. I'll give her the benefit. Like, so I got onto her and I was like, hey, that's really fucked up. Can you not do that? And she was like, oh, I didn't even realize that it came across that way. And she was this was the one time she was very genuine. She was like, I didn't even realize it came across like that. That's not at all what I was trying to do. And she actually did change and stop doing that. And then later on, when she moved on to make her plagiarism thing, she put out a she put out a post at one point where she was like, I can't believe people used to get on to me for drawing ladies with big boobs. And I'm like, they were not ladies. Don't even I thought you had actually grown up a little. Come on. Oh my goodness. There's a lot more about her that I could say, but... Oh, it's a whole long thing, because I dealt with her for like 2 years. Okay, anyway. Drawing. Art. Canvas.
It seems like one of the... I mean, granted, maybe not. I'm asexual, so, like... I don't feel strongly about, like, anyone, but I feel like not sexualizing minors is, like, the easiest thing you could do.
Literally! I don't get how... Oh, I don't get it.
But, it's like, I don't get it, but it seems a very... common... Like, especially with, like, the anime crowd, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It happens plenty in furry, too, and I fucking hate it, but, like... I don't know, I guess I see it more regarding, like, anime characters than furry.
Yeah. Well, it's simple. Just don't draw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple, just don't. Like, I don't...
And yet, here we are.
Yeah. Fuck, there was something that I was gonna put on stream earlier, like way earlier, that I totally forgot about until just now. There was a doodle that I did that I was going to put on screen that I totally forgot about.
Well, put doodle.
Here it is.
Show doodle, show doodle. Ooh, it's this one. Except the rest of it.
Bella's third hobby, aside from casinos and architecture, is pissing off Scarface.
That's adorable. I love that.
Call that wood stain. I've got to get you to watch some of Batman the Animated Series with me, because, like, I really like that show just in general, but I do really like this one particular episode that has Scarface in it, as, like, the primary villain, and he interacts with Catwoman, and the way they interact is like, funny.
Make me watch shows. It's fun when you make me watch shows.
We gotta watch it sometime. Oh, I'm gonna draw a rabbit, I guess.
Rabbit time. Meanwhile, I'm already on the coloring phase for my artwork. Haha.
I was gonna say, well, you didn't ramble for several hours, but you did talk at length about the game you've been playing. But I assume you're not as bad about, like, stopping what you're doing while you explain things as I am.
I did completely stop doing that actually. Like if I'm really into a subject, I can't bring myself to multitask. Or if it's like complex like that is. But I've not been doing anything too big or tough. This is just like a little expression practice. I say, but the part that I'm currently coloring in is like extreme top-down perspective.
Ugh, I love Vel. One of my most beloved OCs.
Velgood.
I like that he kept the choker all these years. That's like the one staple of his design that hasn't gone through any revisions.
Every character design has like, what would I call this? Either a cornerstone or like a D&D Lich phylactery. It's like, it has to remain the same in one way or another, or it becomes a completely different character.
Yeah.
So, like it's the last part that will not be Ship of Theseus out, or else it will become different.
And I mean, that almost is actually the case with like the you making the phylactery like comparison is literally almost accurate for Vel. Because like in his initial conception he was intended to be a lich, and it was debated for a long time of like where like his soul was actually kept. But the choker that he has is actually a magical artifact, but it's not his phylactery. Especially not now that he's not a lich anymore. He's just like an old god.
We love power scaling characters up to god status.
Well, I had actually, back when I made him, played with the idea of him becoming a god, because, like, the way that I had written the lore for his species was that at any point in time, someone from their species could just usurp one of their gods and become one.
Ooh, that's cool.
But, so they would always have a standard of 5. There could be no more or no less than 5. But if one of those 5 died, they would be replaced, or they could be killed, and whoever killed them would replace them. And if I'm remembering correctly, I had played with the idea that Vel killed the goddess of power, maybe? I think it was power. And became the god of death for his whole species.
Ooh.
But like, so I had played with the idea of him being a god before, but he was the god of death at that time. Now I have changed his lore that he is just a god of suffering who hops from world to world. But I think I mentioned this before. His whole concept of being a god of suffering, like, doesn't inherently require that he cause it himself, just that he's in proximity to it and can gain power from it.
Yep.
Also, I really do enjoy that he is well liked by other characters. Like, despite what he represents, he is liked by other characters in various universes.
I like that too. It's a good spin on the type of character that Vel is. I'm trying to organize
Oh,
my own character journey, like in my head, cause like man, I think like earliest form, back when my Sona was still Glide, it was kind of just generic hero to Sky Pirate. From there, just kind of like a standard adventurer, no alignment. To wizard? Not wizard, but sorcerer, I think. Magic user undefined. And from there was when I got into like proper world building and like could not find a good role other than like Godling.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? This works fine. It's interesting, it's different, so I'm gonna roll with it.
Oh man, I gotta change how I'm sitting. I hurt.
Shrimp check.
Well, I sit on my feet and it gets painful. Ah. Trying to think.
It is cool.
Hmm?
It is cool how it's cool how like the journey an OC can take, especially one that's like really close to you.
Oh, absolutely. No, not when your feet fall asleep. I hate that. That happened to me last night. And I literally just sat in my chair with one of my legs stuck out for like 10 minutes.
Yo, can I be real about something for a second? Like when my arm falls asleep, good sensory thing, actually. I like how that feels.
Okay. Arm, yes. Legs, no.
Okay, yeah, I do not like anything like but my arm falling asleep. Nowhere else feels good.
I don't know what it is about like arms specifically where it's like, yeah, that's fine. Ugh, I gotta Here I go again, thinking, oh, I gotta do a thing. I gotta do the thing.
Another thing for the list.
I gotta finish working on my art for my Digimon AU of Mario and Rabbids.
I second this decision. You need to finish that because I want to see it.
I need to figure out, like, what everyone's partner is, and then, like, settle on the, crests that they all have. Because I was, like, I wrote it all down, but I'm still fighting myself on, like, who matches with what crest, because there are just enough characters in Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope to have, like, all of the crests covered. The only one who wouldn't have one is Rosalina, but she's not, like, a playable character. Rabid Rosalina obviously has the Crest of Knowledge. Rabid Peach, I decided, has Sincerity. Huh?
Knowledge. I'm sorry.
You know what I'd like more than this new Lamborghini here? Knowledge. I think
I hate
Luigi.
that. That's been stuck in my head for ever since I heard it the first time. Anyway, sorry for interrupting repeatedly.
I love that video. Every time I hear the word Lamborghini, I start going through that in my head. Here in my
Every
garage.
time I hear knowledge, that's where I go. That's what triggers it. Lamborghini does not, though. Oddly enough.
Luigi should have the Crest of Courage, I think.
That's fitting.
And then the rest of them, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I will say, giving Rabid Peach a Jellymon was really funny. That was a really good choice. The way I have it written down, Mario has kindness, Luigi has courage, Peach has hope, Bowser has love, Rabid Mario has light, Rabid Luigi has purity, Rabid Peach has sincerity, Edge has friendship, and Rabid Rosalina has knowledge. But I'm not entirely sure about some of these.
I think they all sound pretty fitting.
Edge gets a Neo Devimon just because I think that would be fucking sick. Oh yeah, something else I was working on for Bella in the context of Rabbids, is working on the setting of his casino.
Ooh.
So if this were like actually in the game, like this is the way I've been thinking of this stuff, is like if it were actually included in the game. So the casino would be basically its own map. The whole thing would be a map with like multiple floors that can be accessed. Anywhere from like 3 to 4 floors. And each floor would have their own puzzles in order to get to the next floor. And then, of course, each floor would be littered with enemies. But each floor has a different mix of enemies. Specifically, the 2 lower floors would have, like, easier common enemies. So, like, I specifically think Bella's Casino would have its own types of enemies, rather than the ones that are already present in the game. So what we'll call the dealer Rabbids for the casino are imp-themed Rabbids, which are like smaller, more common, more like in larger numbers on the lower floors. But as you go up to the 3rd and 4th floor, you would start seeing more big werewolf-themed Rabbids. The 4th floor specifically would only have them. There would be no dealer Rabbids up there. Only these werewolf ones, which I guess would be like security. And they basically act as guards, because the entrance to the roulette room where the boss battle would take place is on the 4th floor. So you have to fight your way to Bella, more or less. and I think the Bella's roulette room boss fight takes place on the 4th floor, but I think he would have a second phase, which you have to chase him down, and you chase him up to the roof, which is where he turns to the big boss form, and that's when you fight him there.
I like it. This sounds like super well planned out. Like, very fleshed out, and granted, I haven't played 2, but it sounds pretty in line with the mechanics that I'd expect from the first Mario plus Rabbids.
Mm-hmm. The second game has more of an actual like open world to it, and like I feel like the casino would kind of like be staged similarly to the mansion where you fight Midnight in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got the different floors, it's got the puzzles, that kind of thing. It's like staged like that. But I think it's larger because it's its own map. It's not like the mansion is a smaller map within the overworld. It's like it is its own map. And I think as you go up through the floors, the like setting of the floors changes, because like you'd have these lower floors that are the casino, because that's where you're supposed to be, you know, playing like poker and shit. That's why those rooms are full of dealer rabbits, and they're like the actual rooms where the actual casino is. But the way that I've always envisioned Bella's casino is that outside of the casino part, it is still like a vampire castle. And the deeper you get into it, once you step out of the casino areas, the more it becomes like an actual vampire's castle. And those areas are supposed to be sectioned off because you're not supposed to go there. So like, when you get to that 4th floor, the reason that it is so chock full of like bigger, tougher werewolf rabbit enemies is because that is the like that's the original castle area. That's like Bella's private area, you know. You're not supposed to be up there. So I think the like the visuals would change too. So it goes from like the like, you know, the like roulette tables and like blackjack tables and like slot machines and things, up to like darker lighting and like stone flooring and walls and tapestries and shit.
Yep.
Which I think would be cool.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it does still look like a castle from the outside, but the moment you step inside, you're like, oh, casino.
I think there's just one thing it's missing.
What's it missing?
Gargoyle mini-boss.
Ooh. That could be like somewhere on one of the higher floors, I think. Or if there is an outside area, like walking around like the little wooded area around the castle, it would be there before you can get in.
Ooh, yeah.
A gargoyle rabbit would be really fucking cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's like a just me thing, but I've always liked pairing like gargoyles and vampires together.
Oh yeah, that's a cool pairing.
I don't think I've actually seen it really done anywhere though, outside of Skyrim and Vampire the Masquerade.
I guess it's not a common thing, but I do think it is cool.
Yeah. You see my vision.
I'm digging through messages I've sent about other shit, trying to see if there's anything I've missed.
Once again, the art stream becomes lore dump.
Yeah, well,
World building is an art.
it is, and I have to world build before I can draw. Otherwise, I'll draw the world building.
It's the process. This is just the way it works.
I am looking back through these messages, and one of my friends had made a joke about, like, Bella's, like, minor mind control power, and, like, you know, the way he has to use it is, like, he has to actually ask for things. Well, my friend had made a joke about him asking, please don't send me to Arkham, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, why would he go to Arkham? What? This is a hobby thief. Why are we sending him to Arkham? Extreme punishment for breaking in and breaking back out for fun. Oh, I want to draw Penguin, but oh.
Draw him.
They probably would, but, like, there are certain exceptions, like, Penguin always goes to Blackgate Penitentiary instead of being sent to Arkham. Like, I think he's only ever been sent to Arkham in the 2004 cartoon. So, like, Bella is in the same kind of category as Penguin, so I can't imagine that they would send him to Arkham specifically. Unless he just happened to piss off the GCPD enough. You know, I don't understand why they send Mr. Freeze to Arkham. Like, Arkham is fucked up, and the Gotham police are fucked up, obviously. But, like, when you compare all of the various, like, Batman villains, I don't know why Mr. Freeze specifically gets sent to Arkham. Like, why is he in a cell next to fucking Joker? What did he do to be there?
They were like, this guy's too basic. Put him in Arkham to make him worse.
Make him worse!
Turn this guy into a real villain.
I'm just realizing the way that I drew Vel right here, he looks like that fucking meme that was going around of, like, people with blue eyes.
Almost. Same pose, really.
Arkham is the only place with therapists. That's fucked up. He does also look like a rant Sona. I saw lightning.
Ooh.
What are VTubers if not a fancy rant Sona?
Well, it depends on if you're ranting or not.
Well,
Fair, you did rant about that person. So,
honestly, I could probably do like one of those rant Sona drama like documentation videos that are like 2 hours long, specifically on like a specific era of the Kirby fandom from like 2019 to 2021. What did Mr. Freeze ever do to you? Oh man, I want to draw, but I can't. I'm struggling. I gotta change the song I'm listening to. I've been listening to this one for too long. You know what sucks?
what?
When something is actually pretty good, but it gets like oversaturated in like in like pop culture.
Uh-oh.
I actually like Nightmare Before what?
Percy comes out as a hipster.
Well, no. Well, yes and no, but like like I do think Nightmare Before Christmas is actually good. I do actually like it a lot. I thought it was a pretty good fucking movie. But it does feel very weird that it's like been everywhere for so long. And it's like constant. Like you walk into any Hot Topic and it's all over the store.
I mean, Jack Skellington is a Fortnite skin.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But like you know what I mean? Like yeah, it's good and I am glad that it is like recognized as being good, but it is weird that it's still everywhere.
It's one of those, like, relics. You know, there's, like...
Mhm.
I'm trying to come up with another one, but it's those things that just kind of, like... I guess you could call it in the public's subconscious? There's always one piece of merch regarding it somewhere in the Hot Topic.
Mhm.
There's always one kid at school drawing in that style or drawing those characters. Like, even me out here in the middle of nowhere, we had a we had a Nightmare Before Christmas kid.
um
She did copy the style very well though. I'll give her credit for that.
I mean, it's a good style.
Mhm.
It's always like funny when there's a song that samples something from a video game and you recognize it immediately.
Speaking of music sampling things, did I tell you about songs that sample the Life Alert?
Huh?
Okay, I've found two songs that I have to find like messages for these. I think I showed them with Cookie. there's 2 songs that I found that sample "I've Fallen and I Can't Get Up" from the Life Alert commercial.
What?
Yeah. One of them's from a video game in the 90s.
I can hear the thunder kicking up. Well, the reason that I brought up, like, sampling things you recognize is because I clicked on a song on Spotify that samples a heavy from TF2, but
Ooh. Here's one of them. This one's from a rhythm game, also.
huh?
It's from Poppin' Music.
Oh my goodness. I was listening to the
Wait.
huh?
Can I read you the interaction Cookie and I had regarding this?
Yes.
Cookie said, "Yeah, I think Happy would like this, but I don't like this kind of stuff." Happy being another person in the friend group. And I said, "Did you listen for 1 minute?" And Cookie said, "Yes." Wait, no. 47 seconds. Ain't no way. What the fuck is this, Lear? Why did you send me this? Oh my gosh.
I was listening to a podcast that some streamers I like do, and they mentioned that one of their streams got sampled by some like random breakcore artist.
Ooh.
I think I don't know how I would feel if my stream got sampled for some reason.
It would probably be really strange, because like that's your voice and stuff.
Yeah. The way it's pitched up! I think the fucked up part of it is that you can tell that it is that commercial. Like, it's not just somebody saying that, because it's that lady. She has an accent. Like the lady in the commercial. I've fallen. It's the way she says fallen. So it's
so
like,
funny that that's the sample.
oh my goodness.
I'm really unhappy that I can't find the fighting game one, because the game is actually from the 90s. So like probably earliest possible sample for that. And like the song is actually called I've Fallen in parentheses and Can't Get Up.
My jaw is making a crunching sound again.
Uh-oh.
I learned recently that having TMJ like can cause you to have muscle spasms in your jaw, which is like it's basically like an endless feedback loop. Like, I have the pain in my jaw because I have TMJ, and the TMJ causes muscle spasms, which makes my teeth click together, which causes the pain in my jaw.
Aw.
It's so, like, It's so fucked up when your body does that to itself. Oh, I see lightning.
You gonna be alright?
Yeah, it's been, like, storming on and off all day, but, like, I do have a leak in my roof, so
You have a leak in the roof?
I do. I found out about that, like, like a month ago. Because it rained, and I was enjoying the rain, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome, it's raining. And then I was walking through the house, and I was like, what's that sound? And one of the back bedrooms that nobody's in has a leak in the roof, which that bedroom is recently renovated, brand new. Like, everything is, like, nice and clean in there. Like, it's, like... Meanwhile, my bedroom is still in its original condition and is fine. It's the recently renovated brand new room that's the one that leaks, and I'm like, you're kidding me. I mean, I would rather it be a room that there's nothing in, but, like, still. How annoying is that?
That sucks. Leaks in general are just kind of...
Yeah.
I hope you can get it taken care of soon.
I hope so too. I need to get a ladder to get up there, to get up on the roof and see if I can figure out where the leak is, like, coming from.
Be careful up there.
I'll be careful. I've been climbing on roofs for a long time.
Oh yeah, how long of a time?
Let's see. I think the first time that I ever got up on the roof of my own volition without a ladder was probably when I was like 7. Maybe a little younger. My grandparents on my dad's side had this, like, yeah, the leak is in one of the ceiling lights.
It's in a light?
Yeah. There's nothing in that light. Like,
Okay.
that is the only light in the room that has nothing in it. Like, I guess they must have figured that there was something up with it, because there's nothing in it.
Mhm.
Like, the other light, because the ceiling in there has four spots for lights, but that particular one that leaks has nothing in it. But, what was it? My grandparents on my dad's side have this fence that is directly next to their house, that if you climb up it and stand on the top of it, you could just walk onto the roof.
Pretty
And
cool.
then my grandmother's house, where I used to live, on my grandmother on my mom's side, her house has a fence post that is just a singular post that is not connected to any kind of fence that you can get on top of, because it's a really wide wooden post with a flat top, and you can stand on it, and then from there you can get up on the roof of the garage, which is what I would do every 4th of July.
Nice.
Also, I would just get up there anytime I was feeling like Sonic the Hedgehog. Does that make sense?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
I said after the 4th of July thing, I said that I would just get up there anytime I was feeling like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, depending on the games that you played. Like, I think in the storybook titles, or at least, like, Secret Rings, there's a lot of, like, post-jumping.
I specifically think of, I'm pretty sure there's a scene in Sonic X where he's like chilling on a roof. And I
Oh
would
yeah, he
always
chills
think
on
of
roofs
that.
all the time.
He loves to be tall. I keep looking at this circle and I'm like, what am I gonna do? There's no features on this little guy that I just drew, and he looks stressed anyway.
Arms out at a high angle.
Oh, you know what I can do? Now it's Meta Knight.
Yo, you want to hear a messed up word association that I have with penguin?
Huh.
So like for exactly 1 week, there was it became a bit of a meme where this like Spanish video about the penguins of Madagascar and like the Spanish pronunciation of their names like went went around. And so every time I hear penguins, like I immediately think fucking Los Pingüinos me la van a mascar. And I'm like, why?
Los
Why is this stuck
Pingüinos.
in my head? Los Pingüinos is such a fun phrase.
I love the Penguins of Madagascar. I think I liked the cartoon that they gave them.
Connor hated it, but I watched it pretty often.
Kowalski was always my favorite. My favorite character, if there was ever a group and each character had with like a different archetype like that, was like, my favorite was always the nerd one. So I liked Kowalski, I always liked Donatello from Ninja Turtles.
That's because you're a nerd.
True!
I don't think I ever really had a favorite. I liked side characters more.
Takoyaki. I do like Joe. Joe is probably my favorite of the main kids. So simple, you can just do this and it's takoyaki. Takoyaki's good. Or a chocolate truffle with a drizzle, true. I went to Korean barbecue place in town a few months ago that had takoyaki.
Ooh.
I just like octopus in general, though. I am a huge fan of octopus and squid. Love calamari, love octopus. Like, there's a buffet in town that has, like, sauteed octopus with jalapeno. It's so good.
Smithy, we cannot let this one anywhere near Splatoon.
Now, those are people. I wouldn't do that.
Here's the thing, though. If I remember right, it's canon that octolings cut their hair and serve it as food. Oh yeah, and they do have squid rings. Oh, Inklings can too? Well, I guess it makes sense that both could do that.
Wah. That's so funny. And also a little weird, but I love it. Oh, I'm getting
Splat-
lag.
Splatoon lore is fantastic. And strange.
Uh-oh. There we go. I think if I was in Splatoon, I probably would be like a weird fish. Not like an Octoling or an Inkling.
Well, welcome to the club that wants salmonlings to be a thing. I'm still kind of sad we didn't get a third species for a third playable species, I should say, from the side order DLC. And yeah, there's tons of like weird fish and other sea creatures to choose from. Just look through like the bands if you want any inspiration, because like I think the splat bands are like Octoling and Inkling minority, maybe? There's like urchins, there's fucking jellyfish. There's so many strange characters and they all look really badass. Yeah, they didn't even give Octolings more hairstyles, and that makes me angry too.
Well, what? Okay, I haven't. Whoa.
Whoa.
The rain's coming down really fucking hard. I don't know if it's picking up on my mic. I don't play these games. I haven't played these games since the first one, and I didn't play much of that as much as I wanted to. But like I I thought with them introducing like a third character alongside like cuz they had like the first game was Inklings, and there were the two pop idols who were both Inklings. The second game was an Inkling and an Octoling. Were Octolings playable in the second one?
Yes, after the DLC came out.
Okay, so there's that. But so it would stand to reason that in the third game you have an Inkling, an Octoling, and a is he a Manta Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you would think that they would introduce a third species to match the fact that they introduced a third species as like the group, as like part of the group. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
like
Big Man's
tracks
just
to
weird.
me. But can you imagine if they had introduced like manta rays as that third species and they don't look like him?
It would be very funny.
What is this?
Also, if you want to know my favorite splat band to like look up, if you want like style inspiration or like character inspiration, Yoko and the Gold Bazookas. Like all of them look fantastic. Oh yeah, I think in one of the things Big Man mentions that he needs special equipment for Turf War.
Well, if they can have special equipment, then it would stand to reason they could have like what is this guy? That's some
Which
kind
one?
of eel. That's gotta be an eel. So this band is called Sashimori? That guy's gotta be an eel. That looks like an eel.
Ooh, yeah, Sashimori is a good one too.
Is that a lobster? This guy looks like a lobster. Oh, I like this. I like this character who looks like an oyster. I'm pretty sure this is an oyster. Go to bed. I think if I did make a Sona for Splatoon, I'd probably just go back to my roots and be a beta fish.
That's a solid option.
I think one of my earliest personas was a beta fish. An Emerald Half Moon beta. Because I love Half Moon betas. I would like to have beta fish, but I would want to do extensive research into, like, taking care of them, because I hate the way that they're kept in pet stores.
Oh yeah, they need space.
I hate that they have them in those little fucking cups. It pisses me off so much. Most pet stores in general piss me off with the way they keep fish and lizards and stuff. I really dislike that fish are seen as, like, the easy pet that you can just kind of get and throw away. Cause they're not easy pets. People just think they are because they assume, because, like, everybody has this misconception in their head that, like, oh, fish just don't live that long. That's not true. They do live pretty long if you keep them well kept, but people don't.
Well, there's also this side of it that, like, and I hate this especially, like, people treat fish and, like, bugs, and to an extent even, like, reptiles, as, like, they don't feel like we do, and there's, like, this whole, like, their brain is too small to experience pain, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I hate that so much, because, like, everything feels that. Why do you believe that?
Yeah, and it's, like, it's not even true. Like,
No.
that, like, they kind of put this, like, they frame them like, oh, well, that's just an animal that feels nothing. They don't suffer, and also, but they don't love you either, and you can't play with them, and blah blah blah. And it's like, none of that is true. Also, fish love to play. I don't know if you know this, but fish love to play.
Yeah, I know about that. That's why they like having tubes and stuff.
And, like, fish and reptiles and bugs even, you can train jumping spiders. Jumping spiders, I'm pretty sure, can learn their own name if you name them.
Ooh.
You can train fish to move balls. You can train fish to jump through hoops. Sharks like to be pet. Like, it just... I hate this idea that, like, if it's not a cat or a dog, it's not, it doesn't, like, have the same range of, like, feeling, and it's not treated the same. Yeah, you need to go to sleep. Good night. I don't know, I love
Take care,
fish.
Smithy.
I
Fish are
would
very nice.
I would have fish if I didn't have cats. Or, well, yeah, I would have fish if I didn't have cats, because, like, I was gonna say, or I would have bunnies, but bunnies aren't gonna, like, interfere with fish like cats would, so I could have both. Oh.
You are struggling.
I am.
Make funny faces. Or do what I did and draw your favorite character having a lemon.
Oh. Very Muppet-like.
You're allowed to look Muppety. Kermit if I.
Let me just... Okay, I have a question for you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you played Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, I played tons of that.
Did it help you improve drawing hats?
Interesting question, because I'm not actually sure now that I think about it.
Because the reason I ask this is I have always struggled with drawing hats. I struggle so hard to draw hats. But Rudy swears that being into TF2 like improved his hat drawing ability like tenfold. Like he swears by it.
I'm gonna say Rudy is telling an anecdote. Because, like, hats are such, like, they don't make sense. They're strange forms to draw. They, like, I don't know, it's weird. They have parts that do not translate well into 2 dimensions. And despite having, like, a solid few thousand hours in the game, like, I don't think it helped me actually draw hats. The game did, however, get me into real-life hat collecting, and that gives me a lot of real-life reference material to work with.
I guess that might
But, like,
count, but like
the game itself, though, like, maybe a little bit in the way that, like, TF2's stylization, like, has helped me imagine things in 3D space from that point on. Like, I guess that's an aspect of it that could count. But I do not think that the game itself really, like, taught me much about drawing hats, especially because I never actually drew the mercenaries for the most part.
mhm.
I wish it taught me how to draw hats, though, because, man, they are rough.
They are rough, and I struggle so hard.
Speaking of TF2, do you want some TF2 news?
Sure.
So, to preface, I suspected this was the case for a long time, but I got told, no, I am wrong by the TF2 community when I brought it up on Reddit, and then I stopped playing the game because I didn't care anymore. But one of the bigger YouTubers and, like, content creators went through and, like, mathematically went through to figure out how many players there are compared to how many bots there are. And Steam Charts says there's like 250,000-ish players at any point in time, right?
Mhm.
Long story short, their math narrowed it down to more like 10,000 at any given point in time.
Huh.
So 240,000 bots, not counting however many bots are like cheater bots, because those ones actively play in servers, and the way that this information is drawn is by pulling numbers of how many players are in servers. So the vast majority of accounts in-game are actually idling on the main menu for the free item drops.
Huh.
And, like, that makes me sad.
Man, that does suck. Like I've heard
It
that
does. And, like,
I've heard
yeah.
that the bot problem was bad with that game, but man.
Well, I first started suspecting this because, like, in a game with that big of an actual player pool, I would not be coming across cheaters in every single, or maybe not every single, but, like, I would say when I last played regularly, cheaters would overrun the server in 1 out of every 4 or 5 games. And like in a game with like that many actual players, like in a game that had 250,000 actual players, it would not be happening near that often, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The player pool would simply be so big that it would probably be 1 out of every like 50, maybe. But no, it's bad. And the worst part is that like Valve years ago did actually try to kind of cull this. They did ban waves and stuff, but like insiders said that they just more bots were made. They just made more bots right after, so it's like there's no real point, and with the actual number of players, it's definitely not Valve's big money maker. So I can kind of understand why it's on like maintenance mode at this point. As unfortunate as that is.
Oh.
I used to have such a good loadout for all my classes. I had 3 all-class cosmetics that I'd wear on like everyone. Actually, there's a website where I can customize a character, and I could actually show you that outfit. Which character do you want to see the outfit on, Heavy?
Whichever. I'm personally fond of Pyro, but Pyro was
I'll
always
put it on Pyro then.
Pyro was always my go-to when I played, but I didn't play a whole lot.
I played everyone, but I think Heavy was my favorite. He still isn't good, but like, cause he's slow and the game has taken a very fast pace, but I don't know, Heavy as a personality, I like him.
A friend of mine was talking about TF2 recently, and made a joke that cause there was a post that said like there was a post that was like, it's the funniest thing ever in Overwatch is the fact that all of the snipers are weak to a gorilla who can beat them to death. And my friend was like, they should do that in TF2 to finally make the people happy by balancing sniper. If TF2 added a gorilla, I would have to start playing.
Well...
Well...
the Jungle Inferno update did give Heavy a, Yeti cosmetic, or like Bigfoot cosmetic set.
I wish Winston were in something else. I like him a lot.
Winston deserves better than Overwatch. Also, here's how my Pyro used to look. Except, imagine instead of the buttons being Team Fortress buttons, I had a decal tool that put various My Little Ponies on them.
Okay, that rules. I like this.
I loved this set. Like, the glasses and the hat are one cosmetic. I think I might have had it painted, but I don't remember what color. And like, the Dead of Night was one of the first, it used to be a sniper-only cosmetic if I remember right. And then for some reason the creator just changed it as to an all-class one on like a whim. And it got put right in because it was already like workshop accepted. And like it looks good on everyone, so I was like, heck yeah. It gave my mercenaries a refined look.
I think I am going to turn the stream off.